Supreme Court fuming at the Enforcement Directorate, saying that it's crossed all lines and asking some tough questions from the Enforcement Directorate. So why is it? Why is ED the subject of a fresh scrutiny by the highest court of the country? We'll try to answer that question. Now let's begin right from the top. Now in the March of this year, in 2025, we had seen the Enforcement Directorate conduct raids in the state of Tamil Nadu, and specifically with respect to TASMAC. Now TASMAC is essentially a government body run by the state government that has a monopoly over marketing and retail of liquor. Now the allegations that have been put forth that the ED has been probing is that there were illegal gratification received by officers of TASMAC by distilleries, and that this is something that amounts to over 1,000 crore rupees. 1,000 rupee scam is what the ED Council is calling it. That is the subject matter of the issue that came up before the Supreme Court today. The Supreme Court was hearing this matter after the Tamil Nadu government knocked on the doors of the highest court of the country, essentially questioning this seizure, questioning this survey that was conducted by the Enforcement Directorate in the month of March. The grounds for challenge, essentially, Tamil Nadu government says, what business does ED have investigating this when there are already FIRs that have been registered by the state police? The Tamil Nadu government in its petition clarified that as many as 41 FIRs have been registered between the years of 2014 and 2021. And that is what inspired some tough comments, some tough language being used by the highest court of the country, by the Supreme Court, by a bench of no less, that's headed by no less than the CJI, the Chief Justice of India, Justice Gavai. The tough questions that were asked were essentially, why did the ED go ahead with this when the state police was already seized of the matter, that this is in breach of all constitutional norms, all federal norms? There is a center-state relationship which now stands disturbed on account of ED trying to enter the domain of an area where the state police is already seized of the matter, has already filed an FIR, and to that end, the Supreme Court saying that, look, the ED has crossed all limits, has breached federal norms, and on that count, the Supreme Court going ahead and staying this investigation by the ED, saying that no further proceedings in this investigation shall take place. And not just that, we understand that the Supreme Court has issued a notice to the Enforcement Directorate seeking a rationale, seeking an explanation for its conduct, for its actions, which led to ED overlapping with the jurisdiction of the state police. So some tough questions await the Enforcement Directorate that they'll now have to answer before the Supreme Court, before the CJI-led bench of the Supreme Court. The next hearing in this case, we understand, will be in the month of July.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC-TV18 on all of our digital platforms.